Next stop, this vendor is inside the Hall of Legends in Orgrimmar. Yes, the dramatic building. Very serious. Much banner. Here on the map. Go inside like you've won something. Coordinates are 38.86, 72.10. Lock them in. March with purpose. Inside, you'll find Jorah, supplier of Horde PvP items. Decor with battle energy. Now listen, these items require specific PvP achievements. No achievement, no shiny war trophy for your wall. And they're purchased with honor currency. Yes, you must earn it gloriously. This is decor that says, I fought players. I survived. Now I decorate. Follow for more vendor hunts. And tell me, what PvP flex are you hanging in your house first? Next stop, this vendor is inside the Hall of Legends in Orgrimmar. Yes, the dramatic building. Very serious. Much banner. Here on the map. Go inside like you've won something.
We will start starting soon. We'll switch to the webcam. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to a World of Warcraft live stream with Lori Cole. What we're doing today is we're going to be showing off the housing new feature of WoW. We'll have a recap of the previous house that I created, and we'll see a brand new style of house that is designed for the night elf of the game. So, we'll start out by recapping what we saw last time. This is the troll.
Turn up your microphone gain.
What does that mean? Turn this down? You're saying it's too high?
Voice louder.
Voice louder. Turn it up. How about that? I am turning it up. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. We shall see if this works better. All right. So let us start with Baba Yaga. Let's see if we can get to this thing. Come here. There. That was my troll version of Baba Yaga for World of Warcraft. And this was Baba Yaga's house from the back. But it's on chicken legs. It's in World of Warcraft. Here is her backyard. She's sitting in a lounge chair. It's a little dark, but she's there. And this is what she has a view from her standing area. She has a view of the graveyard, which is why this was the perfect location for Baba Yaga's house. It even has a fox in the back. So there's her fountain. There's her green goo fountain with a little elderberry on the side. That's that purple thing way over here. That's the elderberry. And hot and cold running goo. Here's her favorite toy, which is the Gilnean problem solver. And you can see there's her thing up here, which she was sitting on. was watching the graveyard. Here's a little barbecue area for, those special occasions. Here's the interior of the house, seated on her throne, and her lovely view out the window. There she is at the kitchen table with a beautiful rack of ribs in front of her, looking towards the door. Here she is in her bedroom, standing by her lovely, her lovely, dragon sculpture there. It just happens to be made out of bones. Her spider webs everywhere on the wall. Here she is in front of her fireplace with that beautiful mantle and all the candles. And here she is, another frontal view of her right under her gate. And here she is on the top. So yes, we went through this entire house and her build last time we were doing this. But this is another time. There's the chicken hut on its chicken legs and the view of the yard. You can see a neighbor's yard off to the left, which we will take a look at later. And here she is, riding on her broomstick in front of the front door. Again, that's what we saw last time. This time, we're going to do something completely different. This time, we're going to see something wholesome and beautiful and back to nature-y, unlike Baba Yaga. So, this time, we're going to recreate that house as it would be if a night elf had built it on that property. I have 5 total elves in this game that are more the blood elf, are the alliance side of the game, or at least of that heritage, because we have several kinds of elves in World of Warcraft. But the first one, the most traditional one, was the night elf, and this is one of them. We shall enter and check her out and her house now. So the theory was that the first creatures on the World of Warcraft were trolls, and the trolls found a magical well, and some of them evolved into the elves. So they were the next major life form, intelligent life form on this world, and they populated all over. But in particular, the night elves were the ones that worshiped nature, that respected nature. This is our neighborhood. It's all lovely and beautiful, as long as you don't mind it foggy and gray. And this is my night elf, Natasia. Let's do that. She is a very traditional night elf. She is a druid, so that means she can shape change into animal form. She can shape change into a bear form, which she uses for combat. She can dance. She can't sing, but she can dance as a bear. She can. Let's try and get back up here. If you can. Turn into a cat. That's currently invisible, but will come thing. And then shift. She can dance as a bear, as a cat too. You can see World of Warcraft allows you to do a lot of fun things in the game. So at any rate, night elves are traditionally the ones who went back to nature, who stayed with nature, who live vegetarian lifestyle, who love the deep forests, and who worship Mother Moon. And so therefore, this house is dedicated to all the night elves that are out there in the world. Let's get out of our cat form. There. And we will go to see a night elf house here in World of Warcraft. So I showed off what Baba Yaga's house looked like the last time. Well, here is the same plot of land, now repurposed for night elves. Night elves were one of the most popular characters in the game right from the beginning, probably because they look like this. Because of all the characters in the game, they are the sexiest. That the female night elves are really fun, they're really cool, and they can do all sorts of really cool things. The night elf male, not so much. Not so cute, let's put it that way. But the night elf female, very cute, very popular. This is the entrance to our property here. There's some problems with World of Warcraft housing right now, is that there aren't too many light sources that you could put on the outside. Well, you can see that I have some lights. These candle lights are allowed to be outside. These lanterns up here that are going like that, they're part of another, they're part of a wagon. So you can put those wagons into your house so you could just see the lights from them. And you can put in the standing stones that are so traditional and are found all around the major night elf areas. So those you can use to show off and light up at night. So let's go the tour of the outside of the house. We have this wonderful view. It isn't quite sunset yet here in Wildland, but it's getting there, and it is always perpetually nice and foggy here. And you can see this is this angle of the house. Some more candles, another standing stone there with its beautiful lights. We'll come here going out to the back. We have a greenhouse-like thing that we have here. This is to there is a lot of rain in this location, so when you want to have your afternoon tea without a lot of rain, you can come out here to this lovely little greenhouse with some flowers and things and just enjoy a nice afternoon tea without the rain dropping on your head. But you know, that's nature, so you don't want to be totally out of it. We have here a lovely fountain and the sentinel owl. The owls are one of the key animals that are associated with the night elves. A fallen tree with mushrooms, flowers, all sorts of plants. This is a very nature-like place, and this really reflects the nature of the night elf. So now we shall walk into this house. You can hear the owl hooting in the background. There is an owl that lives around here. We'll go right up to the door and walk in. So once again, all of these things are placed in purpose, one piece at a time. And here is our living room. This is to resemble the night elf houses in Val-Shara, a big region of the game. Here we have a lovely centerpiece with the sentinel owls with lights. Here we can have a little more light. You can see you can have lanterns and everything in the house. But we'll make it we'll tone down the lights. I'll have to bring up the interface and make it, let's go a natural dark. So just to show off how beautiful it is in the dark with just the lights. Just the things glowing in the dark. So you can actually have this place look like, you know, it is nighttime. But for now, let us not go that dark because it's not. Let's go to natural light and see what it looks like in natural light. Here we have it. It's a little bright, perhaps. Just a little bright. Not quite the night elf vibe because they do like the moon. They like it dark. You can go with default, which is a little darker as it darkens down. This is probably closer to what you would see in the game if you went to the night elf interiors, which I've done a lot of. We come over here. We have a nice little book nook, a place to sit down and read your favorite novel. We come around here, past the stairs and the centerpiece. We have a dinner table. If you go into the kitchen, this is a night elf kitchen, you'll find that there is no stove in a night elf land. They actually eat mostly, salads and things, so they're very healthy folk. And this is all the traditional kinds of things you would see in a night elf kitchen. Across from here, you would find the bed. They even have a little stuffed animal on the bed waiting for them. A little light, a storage box. The sentinel owl right ahead of us. And now we'll go up the winding stairs where plants are all over the place. We grow a lot of plants. You'll find them all over the place, inside and outside of a night elf home. So there we have it, the house from the balcony looking over things. We shall walk down. There's some scrolls and things to read. Down the stairs. Across, we have a nice little fireplace. The night elves don't have a lot of fireplaces, but it's nice in this colder climate than the elf lands to have the nice warm fire. It's comforting, and you can sit here on the pillows and just relax and enjoy yourself. But we shall go outside and see what's on the outside here, because as I said, she is a druid, and many night elves are druids. That means they are in tune with nature, and that they want this place to have a lot of in touch with the inner nature. Here we have a nice little picnic area outside, in front of the fountain, in front of that lovely standing thing. And we can go around. We can come over around to the rock formation here. She'll jump up to the top. And she has another table with some tea set out for her. She has her telescope to look out at the stars. Because what else is better to do at night than stargaze? Let's go down. Just a little roam around the back of this place. See off in the distance there's another tent, an elf land tent. But you can see that this fountain rock area has water trickling down it. It's got lights and things. All of this just to make it a little more interesting and to give this a feeling, the place that you would like to be in, that you would like to stay and enjoy. But meanwhile, we shall go back into the house. And that is a night elf house. And that is my night elf. So, it's quite different from the Baba Yaga house. And it gives you a feel for how the night elves live in their natural environment on this world. But this is not the only kind of elf in the game, and I will be showing off the way they live and the way their lifestyles of the rich and famous night elves, or the blood elves, later on. I showed some of it. It's in the Horde house, because the night elves are part of the Alliance. The blood elves, on the other hand, went with the Horde, and so did the Nightfallen elves. So we have elves everywhere. And that gives you a feel. Some giant lilies there, they are. They, even WoW uses them that big. Some of these, if you see, let's get a little faster here. Some of these plants are natural here. Here's one of those lilies in the wild. So as you see, they are quite large. There's a badger over there that looks suspiciously like a breed-colored skunk. And mushrooms are all over, all different sizes. So you could pretty much, and there's a raccoon. It's a wandering raccoon. They're not very afraid of people. They don't mind if you go up to it. So some of this is stuff that I placed in place, and some of this is the WoW itself that gave you this lovely background, this huge rock and things like that, the log, to work with to create these houses and make them interesting. So again, here's the view from the back, and the view of the house looks like this from a distance. There it is, and I will switch my flight style so I can go a little slower. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, she doesn't have it out there. I have to go look for it. Yeah. N. That's it. Spellbook. I have to go into general. I have to go into skywriting style and bring that over here into a bar for now. I have mail from the post office. Oh, what do you know? Let's switch her style. So she'll go a little slower. And now, when I fly, I can hover. And you can see the house from above. Again, the greenhouse, the fountain. There's the house from this side. It's a really lovely house itself. The design is so much better than what the original house was that we were given. It is the traditional Night Elf house, but with add-ons. As I said, these are wagons that have the lights sticking out. It's a huge staff she's carrying. If it's as heavy as it looks, it might be getting used to moving around with that strapped to the back, yes? You can't pet the raccoon. You can pet other things. It definitely looks like a magical house. It does, and it is quite lovely. But it isn't the only elf house in town, and it isn't the only possibility for how you design it. So let's take a tour of seeing how other people have done their houses. Like, for instance, this one. This is quite an eclectic house, I would say. They put the same night elf thing in front, but they certainly went their own direction with all the decorations. They also have a lovely view of the cemetery from behind, and in fact, they have a lovely view of the cemetery from the side. They are smack dab in the cemetery itself, whereas I have a gate between me and the cemetery, which is just fine for Baba Yaga. She loved this location. After all, the bug just passed me. But it isn't the only elf house in town, and let's go visit some of our other neighbors. Here is a different night elf house. Let's go around to the front. We'll take a look at it. You can see it's a much simpler style. They haven't added on the elaborate side dressing that I have put on mine. And they've added a gazebo and a post mailbox there. But it's a very nice, simple design for a house. We can, I can't see that because I can't do it in this mode. So let's come over to this house. This house is floating in the air with its trees and things. So they've got, this is again the night elf style house. Oh, look at that fountain though. That is a lovely waterfall fountain that they've got growing in their front yard. That's all done with rocks and things added on to make that look like it. And look at those trees. It is indeed a floating house with some things coming down from it, some of the ivy. They have the path over here to their little rock here and their stand. So in theory, over here, that is their front door. Let's see if we can go in. Let's see if we can enter their house. What do you know? We can! Sitar Heroes! Cheered! Thank you! Thank you very much! 100. Katrina or Arana? Yes, we had a discussion of that earlier today. In fact, we were doing romance in our live stream. Look at their interior. They kept the fountains going inside their house. It's much airier and brighter than my house. They're not sticking to strictly a night elf style. And that's perfectly acceptable. You could do what you want with this game. They've got some nice greens going on in this corner. The stream, I like. It's a really nice looking fountain. Again, the huge lilies, the fluorescent lilies. Oh, they have a post office thing in their house too. That's useful. There they have a nice table, all the baskets and the things. This is another really, really well designed house. Somebody that's taken a lot of time to make this feel cozy and loved and livable. I like this. Here's their take on the a sunroom going out to an outdoor room. They have a patio outdoors. They have the topi area. They have some food on the table. They have a nice arbor leading out into the yard. Here's a hookah. They've got their standing stone, of course, and all these trees, and a lovely lounge here you could sit on and just enjoy yourself in this beautiful outdoor setting. So that's very cool. Oh, look, the door is double doored. So very cool, very nice. We have this study over to the side. You could see what this person has done. They put in a fireplace, yes, but they surrounded their fireplace with books and a secret garden behind it with another bridge and waterfall, with lovely, look at the plants that they've done. They've created this wallpaper. They're letting the stars come through in the wallpaper. Good choice of plants here. They sort of look day glow in this light. And then they come into here to the lovely arched door, and we have yet another major room in the house. Clearly she's going to be doing some more building. She probably just went up a level in the housing, and that means she's got more decor. There she's made use of that fountain. Look at that. Isn't that something? She's done a great. Here's her bedroom, her dresser, her wallpaper. All of these are customized to make just as they wanted them to be. I'll hop up here and come over here. Here we have another greenhouse, and it's made a private little bedroom. Lovely carpet going with the bed. All of this is customized, putting in the light system. Here's a nice little garden area, looks like, and then we have this stairs, and it extends out across the sky on the stepping stones to this area. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? Or a lot of fun, at any rate. It looks like a resort. It is, and it's also something of a maze because you don't know, where you went and how you got there. But here we have another bed. Wow, a lot of people sleep in this house. There they've got their plushie on their bed. And some giant flowers. They're standing stones, a nice book, some more library books. This must be the master bedroom because there it's got, a nice dressing table. It's got its fountain in the side too. And we come in here to another sunroom, kind of a bathroom. There's a toilet. Yeah, this must be the bathroom, and you can have a nice soak in a hot tub here. All of this is just customized and created with bits and pieces put together. We were going to have to check who this was. I've forgotten which guild member actually created this house, so we'll have to check that out. But that is an incredible upstairs. They did such a wonderful job of adding things. They followed the rule of thumb that every corner, everything must have something interesting to look at, something to be amazing, and they put those flowers all around. It's got, my house has all different kinds of flowers, but she kept it consistent, and you follow the, I would say, the purplish daisies all around that area, and then matching the colors here around this tree and its little fountain. Would be pretty humid. Yes, it will be very humid here. She's got this. Can I go through it? It's probably the exit. Yes, she's got that as the exit for the house. All right. And we can see who this is. This is Whippoorwill. Of course! Of course it's Whippoorwill's house. She had a different house. It looked entirely different the last time we were here.
Whippoorwill is mistress of transmog collection.
Ah.
Every transmog in the game.
Well, she's channeled that transmog spirit into this house. So, yeah, this is... Huh? Oh, she has all the mounts, of course. She has this view from her house, from her patio, from this thing. She gets to see down there and gets to see all the lightning bugs and all the things. That's really a very pretty thing, and by putting her house up so high, she really gets to appreciate it. And she's making full use of this environment. I mean, this looks like it belongs in this semi-cloudy landscape. So, very cool. Thank you, Whippoorwill. That's probably the best we're going to see. Sorry, I didn't know we were coming to the best of the best. There's this design again. There's some more over here. There's the eclectic house from above. We get to see that they've got the dragon skeleton hanging from a rock that's floating in the air. She's got a kite there. More of the view of the cemetery. Here's another night elf house. Different style again. Building up from that. It is on the ground, not flying crazily. Here's a little house. They didn't do much with it, but it shows you just how unique these night elves' house can be. They are very different. You can really customize them and get them to look just as you want to. And we'll take a nice gliding tour over the cemetery and around. Here's another person's house. It's again simple. A few additions, a nice path up to the house with flowers, a nice wishing well. And they kept the cottage feel to the exterior. I'll go up and around. Follow the roads around. There's a simple cottage. Here's a slightly more elaborate cottage with a nice fountain out in front. They get the view of the lighthouse that's going to come around and put the light on them pretty soon. And they've got the birds and things that fly around their house with those nice the picturesque dead trees behind it, giving it a kind of eerie look too. We'll go across this bridge. This is into the shinier parts of the world, and here we have a very interesting house. We'll come around to the front. A person walking around. There, how about that? There we go, bright and shiny, the total opposite of what we were seeing before. This one, again, is taking advantage of what you can do and really making a unique version of what the house can look like. They have made it colorful, it is inviting, it is fun. They got a path out to this thing, and they've got the path leading to the plants and to an old well, and then they have their griffin for riding in the back, a bell, and I think the bell is part of this environment. You can see that, and I just chased the birds away. Here we have this nice little pool that they're using out here with their things to sit on, a little privacy table there, their chicken coop. They have boars on their property. I imagine they need to protect the chickens. They have a nice little grove of apples along here. It reminds me of a Tim Burton's Wonderland. Well, you could certainly do Tim Burton here. That rabbit was climbing a tree. That's interesting. So this is a really fun exterior. They got the fountains. They've got a PvP flag and their weapons. This is their practice area. They can see they can throw their axes at the target. So let's see if we can sneak into this one. You can set it. You have the permission to set your house so that people can come in or not. Ah, they still have their Winter Veil look up. And look at their house. They have kept this Winter Veil theme going inside with the color scheme of the furniture. All of this is, you can dye your furniture to make it look just like you want it. They've got their tea thing on the shelf. They've got these cabinets all dyed to look right. There's only a certain amount of things you can dye, but you can make really good use of the dye thing. The curtains are dyed. The furniture has been dyed. Here's their Winter Veil tree with all sorts of things hanging from it and around it. They've got a lot of the little horse ornaments. They've got this lovely custom window. You can see it looks like it's raining outside through the window. A nice book on the chair, beside the chair. It's a very cozy kind of house. I like the fireplace right there with the furniture in front of it. I really like the fact that they went to the effort of getting it into those colors. It's comfy enough to sleep up in front of the fire. You better believe it. Look, there's your view from sitting on it. And it's nice, and it feels very compact and cozy in this room. It's just a very well-designed room. And who minds that the Winter Veil tree is going to be up for as long as they want? We'll come into their library. Another fireplace. Another trophy on the wall. The two trophies. They have a chess set up to play. We can go through this. The library, and possibly there's something behind the library. We don't know. This is their kitchen and their dining room, and they have a really elaborate setup here for fixing food. Their cabinets, table. They have the interesting electrical things going on here. And then they have this back patio slash, their garden area with a nice fountain in front of it in the centerpiece. We come into this area with the things on the wall and inviting you into their game room. How about this for a game room? They've made a custom billiard table. They've got a card game set up here, and they're obviously playing poker. House is definitely bigger than it looks like from the outside. That is the magic of this. They have this custom window here that you could see out, and you could see some horses on the mountains beyond. You could see the moon there shining. All of this, and then they have a different scene. If you look through these windows, again, there's a deer outside, and there's plants and things. Very nice. All of that custom so that you can see out and enjoy. Here again, they've got a little inside greenhouse so you can see in there. They got fountains. They've got a treasure chest over there. They've done such a nice job of making this thing interesting. Here we have this section where we've got that creepy fireplace and a bunch of books and things that look like they go really well with it. There's a interesting water wheel thing. You could sit here and drink your large goblet. You can step up so you can see all the things in there. There's her study. There's her weapon collection on the wall. I'm not sure how they did that, but I have a feeling I can figure it out. They've got their drink station there. All in all, they have done a lot of work trying to get this place look unique and interesting. I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting in front of that fireplace with the creepy Cthulhu-like thing on the mantel. Exactly. It belongs better in the Baba Yaga house, I'll tell you. I mean, there it fits. But, each to their own. So, this is a very cool house. It's very interesting. They did a lot of customization, a lot of work to get this looking this interesting. And that might be all the house there is. Let's see if there's something. No, there's a rock. They've got that blocked out. So maybe there's a way through here, but I don't see it. So sometimes people have all sorts of secret doors in that. I see it's snowing outside because we're still winter. You can see the snow on the window. All right. That was a very, very cool house too. And I like what they did with this foyer and putting the hanging lanterns and the Pandaren posts there that make it look very cool. All right, let's walk through. Let's see what else is that house. We'll see who owns this one. This was Biashi's, the other major person of this guild. Makes sense. She did a great job with her husband.
She's the pet collector of the guild.
Ah, the pet collector of the guild. Well, she's got a great house too.
Well, after me, of course.
Yeah, Corey is the primary pet director on this game. I mean, the collector. More than anybody else. Here's a nice, simple house. Where they used the customized with the green roof, which looks really nice here. We'll come over. That's an NPC area. We've got the mill. They're making apple juice or apple cider or something here with their water wheel. Might be harder than just apple cider. We'll fly up, find the wild griffins on the rocks. We'll come down to this little house. Oop, this is a privacy house. I almost got kicked out. That's their private little house with their cow in front. Here's another tiny little house. You can see all sorts of things. You can see just how very different each of these houses can be. And even the NPC things follow a certain amount of rules like the rest of us have to do, because they're basically using the same kind of things to create the houses for the NPCs as we are for the our player characters. This is a customized house. There was going to go over to the really crazy wild house, but we could just swing by and swoop by these other houses to see what they've done. So yes, everybody that wants to can really go wild and really make something that they can really, be proud of. I do like the colors here. I like that roof with their flowers out in front, their statue. This is simple. They didn't do a lot of elaborate, stuff. Can you go inside the lighthouse?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can go up to it. It's a very, yes, it's an elegant house. We can go up to the lighthouse. Swoop in. The bottom is indeed closed, so you can't get in there. You can get up here. You could walk around here. Remember that all of us in this game have flying mounts or some way of flying into this scenario. So here we have the view from the lighthouse and the light going sweeping around. It's a lovely evening. It's always a lovely evening here, except when it's raining. We'll swoop down past that house. Some of these places, like the towers over there, you can go in and you can climb up to the top. Swoop around by this. There's a really interesting house I want to take a look at. There again is a different version of the Night Elf house here. Here is a Night Elf house. They have a tent in front. There we have the more traditional house for the human homes, I would guess you would say. They're more in the human cottage styles that can be very customized here. So yeah, these are all cottage houses. These are all NPC houses, but they're along the cottage look. We have a purple house down here, the purple roof. They have a lot of stuff out in front. There is a limit to how much stuff you can have out in front of your house, so all of us are dealing with that. They have their house up in the air. Here's a herd of cows, just because you could have a herd of cows sitting on this thing. And then we have this house over here, which was definitely the one I was heading for. We'll go down here and look at that. That's something. That is special. You can see they've got all of those. They're actually the dark portal is what those things are called. Pretty creepy looking, yes. It's got a lovely view though. Look, how about having a house right here on the edge of the ocean. You can look down on your boardwalk. And then they built this thing on this thing. So, you know, their telescope, their little, you know, picnic area with weird stuff inside. And then that. That is truly special. Nobody else has something that looks quite like this that I have seen in the game. Swing around. Here's another night elf house with a different type of style of roof. At any rate, as I say, people are doing all sorts of things with their houses. Some people, like me and Whippoorwill and Bianchi, spend a lot of time working on customizing it, make it special. And there's a lot more to that house, the night elf house that I just built, but it's not in the night elf style, so I'm not sharing that. But isn't this nice? It's got the grapevines here. This is all NPC, so you can live in this area with the cows and the things, and that is just to give this a feel of a real neighborhood, a place you'd want to live. And give you a chance to be as creative as you want to be. So, I really think that WoW has done a beautiful job. I mean, look at this environment. We're back into NPC area, but my gosh, isn't it look inviting and friendly? And right now we have an endeavor. That means a special event in the center of town, and we've invited some people from the lands that are based off of China. It's got a very oriental feel. Yeah, there's a Pandaren who's playing some sort of mahjong kind of game here, or at least waiting for his partner to show up so he can finish playing. The environs are really stunning. They truly are. And the fact that you have events where visitors come to your area, and then you can have special activities. You can level your house up just like you'd level your character by doing all sorts of tasks. Like, for instance, maybe I will clean up the road and just be neighborly. And I will get points for being neighborly, and it'll help level up my house. So, all of these things make... All of these things make for a very interesting system. There's my house. I'm up to a level 8 house on my Destry Elder's house in this neighborhood. And the endeavor that this house has is Friends of the Grummies. Is this creature? That's a gnome. That is not a Grummie. Have to Grummel. Now keep reading them as Grummies because of the L. Here is a Grummel. That's a Grummel. Those are Grummels. That's a Grummel. That one looks like kind of like a animated sloth, I have to say. But what they bring is all sorts of items that you could buy. I could have that in my house. You could buy coffee cups. You could buy a coffee maker because they have they sell Kapha Koda berry traders is what they are. And you can do all kinds of activities, so to speak, to get so that you can buy this stuff, and then you can decorate your house just like this. And so there's a lot of different styles that we're going to go with our house. So I'll pick up this loose cobblestone and fix that, and that'll give me some points towards fixing the house and and leveling up. So, do you interact with all the creatures? No, most of these people are just NPCs.
You smell
But
of
some
good
of them
fortune.
are people that will help you. He would tell you what you can do here. Here are all the vendors that where you buy all the
I hope
stuff
you find
from.
something useful.
They'll sell all the different items of furniture and that you use to put things
Enjoy
together.
your purchases.
And the NPCs go around, you know, making their own life here, falling asleep on benches, dozing in the sun. They all have their own kind of life. You can go pat any of the cats and dogs around here. I will pat that one. Nope, that one doesn't want me to pat him. This one does, though. I can pat this one. And they love to be petted. So, yes, you can pat cats. You can pat dogs. And they're happy to be petted. And they give you a nice look and a heart. And there's things that you could pick up. Oh, that's a dog bowl there. They have a dog bowl. Somebody put out the dog bowl. So, you know, it's got a great feel. I could pick up that coda berry. There's a coda berry. And add a coda berry to my collection. And all in all, WoW did a great job with making this environment. Why these people are falling asleep on their feet is that you can give them a cup of coffee, and they'll pop back, you know, they'll feel lively again, and they'll thank you. So you can interact, you can have fun, you can do activities. You also have places like here. We have a, I think I crashed the game. No, it just took a while to do it. Here's a stage. People could put on plays here. Maybe someday they'll have a play here because we have plays in other areas. You have a little picnic area that you could have your entire guild come to and sit out here and, you know, role play or do things here. And up here we have a wedding venue. So you could have a wedding in your neighborhood. All in all, they have made this into an environment ideal for people who like to role play their characters and who like to, you know, feel like they have a home for their characters. Are they independent or somebody else's pet? Those are all probably, well, they're all independent, but they're probably supposed to be somebody else's pet. The animals, there are wild animals here, but you can't pet them. You cannot pet the raccoons and that probably because WoW doesn't want to set bad examples for people that they should not actually go around petting wild raccoons and that. So it's an important safety tip. Yeah, so let's get out of flight form. Let's go close. Well, actually, you mentioned the staff before and how heavy that would be, but when she's going into combat, she is in bear form, and so that staff is, you know, basically doesn't bother her at all. Kind of disappears. He is falling asleep at the switch. He really needs a cup of coffee. But, there's all sorts of things to do and all things to do with. So, we will say goodbye to our night elf here. She will wave again. And there's a real player. What do you know? The real player came by and they're picking up things with their pets. And so, we will leave her in Night Elf land, and that is the Night Elf thing. The giant bear pounding down the street. Well, if you look, once that it's a giant Yeti. All the children are chasing it. The children actually get to ride on top of it, so they're all waiting their turn to ride on top of it, and it's part of this event. You can see that yak. Yaks don't normally wander the streets here except in this event. So now we'll change from the Night Elf character And we will change to the Horde, and we'll see the similar type of thing in the Horde lands. So, I will log out. Isn't it? Yes, this is a lot of fun. It's quite creative. But we'll go from that side of the world and that aesthetic to the Horde. See, I did not pick my Horde characters this time. I was not going to show too much of the Horde. So let's go. I have 60 characters in this game. Most of them have been around for a while. Some of them, like, oh, say, I went past her, but Anagrama, who is not in her proper outfit, but Anagrama will eventually have her house, and we'll do the gnomes and in. How do I keep them all straight? I do actually have a spreadsheet for all my characters, but mostly I remember their personalities. All right, let's go to Kowtow? No, Nefertiti. Let's go to her. She's in Razorwind Shores. Because I wasn't showing off the house so much, I was going to show off this environment. And the interior, I mean, the endeavor that this area has. So, we change aesthetics entirely when we go into the Horde lands. The Hordes are ruled, our group of, misfit individuals that all banded together for protection. So we have the Taurens, which are the Minotaur people, and we have the Orcs. So yes, here is my Tauren. She's actually a high mountain Tauren. She is a shaman. Unlike, like a druid, she could shape change. She shape changes to only one form, and that is a fast running thing that can run, in the dungeons or run outside of the dungeon. She doesn't have a flight form. She has to actually get on a mount to go flying. This is the Horde property, and this is the Horde aesthetics with the exterior of the house. It's highly customized, as I do with everything, but this is my favorite location in the game, is right on these falls. I can see that we're going to have rain here soon, but that's fine. It just looks lovely anytime. So let's go up into the air, take a look at the Horde aesthetics as opposed to the Alliance areas. So we don't have quite the gloomy area, the gothic gloom here. We have more of the desert and the southwestern mystique here, as well as the beachfront property. You can come here, you can have a house on the alongside the hot springs here. This neighborhood that I am in here doesn't have a lot of houses because I'm in a guild's second neighborhood. They actually filled up the 80 some houses. Huh? How much? 55?
Yeah.
No, 55 is when they'll charge. But they actually have more than 55 houses for a neighborhood. Might be 65. This is all NPC area. But yes, there's some 65 possible houses sites, but if you have people in 55 of them, they'll create a second shard, which means that you have a second neighborhood. And I came here because that property that I picked was open and there were no players that had picked that property, because what I have found is that any guild that ever started up, somebody takes that property right from the beginning, and I wasn't there on day one, so I didn't get that property. Here's a good site for a house. But I was not going to just show off this landscape, because this is very cool. This is all NPC stuff. we have a different endeavor here in this.
In JFS, they actually had a sign up that you could reserve house rentals in the second chart.
Ah, yeah, okay. So yes, some guilds uh, organized it up.
But the first chart was who we
Yeah, the first shard was who first come first serve, and the second shard was pick the place you really want. So this is, you saw the event in the previous one. This one again is a interesting event that is populated by a yet another kind of character. Here we have it, the Niffins. These are a mole-like character that live underground, and they're very good at sniffing things. And they brought their aesthetics, or at least their trade goods and their plants and things, to this neighborhood. Again, you can do, there are all kinds of people here, all kinds of NPCs, but again, you can do all sorts of activities that raise the level of your housing area. So for this one, I go here. This is Delilah's. Their endeavor is called Smell Sensation. The Niffin are in the neighborhood to help out with some pollination issues. Together you can make the neighborhood's flora flourish. So for this one you can do things like, plant some incense. You can collect bees. I mean, as I said, they're interesting activities. You can go around then and fly around and go around plants, and they will pollinate the plants. I've got a bee there. You can hear this one pollinated that plant. It is a really cute bee. I mean, look how nicely that design is. I could get multiple bees and have a whole bunch of bees following me. I can go around and I can pet the little raptors that run around town if I get close enough. There, it likes that. Every once in a while, you'll see them. I can pick up rocks and things like that and fix the road. You'll see all the Niffin around, wandering around. So many smells, he says. This is an NPC, another Tauren. And this one has an activity in which you can take Big Slick in the city, that snail, and you can go around and deliver mail with a snail. Riding a giant snail. Alright, fine. We can show it off.
Goes with the old joke about the U.S. snail being called snail
Yeah,
mail.
snail mail. I can ride around town on a snail, delivering the mail. And it's this fast. So it can be a little peaceful and relaxing, let's put it this way, to ride this. And you can, yes, you run an apiary, you go over and make sure all the, you're fertilizing all the plants around here. I can't do it when I'm on, I have to get off my mount. But we could have all the bees. You can get a dozen bees. See, I just fertilized that plant. You had to make you had to make incense. And all of those things make the Niffin happy, and they'll be happy to help you make more things. And then you can come here and actually buy stuff. And it all depends on how much activity everybody's done as to what you can buy. But in the end, I could buy one of these things. That's their stores. I can buy from them. They don't sell coffee, no. And they sell things like hearty Niffin grub, which is that container of carrots and things, which I figured were, perfect for the night elves since they seem to be vegetarians. They sell that table, and they sell, there's a snail carts that they sell. And all in all, it's a totally different feel and a totally different type of activities that you can do here. But if I'll go back in here. Let's see. Yeah, it is a fast snail. I am in Guardians of Eternity, so I could go to the Guardians of Eternity land area. That's the guild that this character is in. If I do this. If I leave the zone and then try to go back through a... That's interesting. Try to go back through this area to a housing unit. Half the time it puts me in my guild one rather than where my actual house is. So let's see, am I in the one from my guild? And yes, indeed. Here we have an entirely different endeavor. Oh, look at this one. This is where all those purple pipes and things came from. This area. These are the ethereals, and the researchers and the people that came from a world that has been destroyed. And they come here and they give you tasks. And if you do their tasks, you can get all sorts of interesting things, like a giant hookah. They give you, lanterns that are interesting and things that look like electrical spinning things, just like you'd see in Frankenstein's lab. And you can make a pretty good laboratory out of these things. Oh, there's a giant spider web back there. So these ethereals will be happy to sell you stuff and happy to have you do various tasks for them. And their activity, their major activity, there's all kinds. Their major activity, I think I can do, or at least try to do, is that you get in a phase. I get phased, and then I get turned into a different dimension that's not quite the same. And then the major activity for this was to do parkour. It has a parkour course of floating objects all around the sky, and you have to jump from one object to another, and you get turned into this cat, and then you can go up things, and you can go around things. And you know something? I absolutely suck at this. And Corey really, really worked at it. So at last, he managed to get to the end. But me, not great at it, but still, it's this kind of thing. And you can... Yeah, I did. Yeah, and then I'd go back here and come back up here, and you go all around this whole region. You're trying to find objects. Yeah, I think so. Well, I could go over here and take this thing and open a tether that gives me a lifeline in case I fall.
It also helps out all the other players if they come by in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, they can use that too.
Use that tether to get a shortcut.
So. Ah, I made it. And then you jump here, and you keep going and going, and I was absolutely terrible at this. And at this point, I said, I am never going to make it to the end of here. And it's so elaborate. There's all sorts of things. You're going everywhere. It's really probably very clever, but it's not my idea of a great place. So therefore, I basically moved my house out of this neighborhood. Oh, missed. Oh well. And I'd have to start back and try again. Although my tether is still there. I could go... I could have. But I didn't, because I don't really want to do this. But Corey will tell you he did it. He got to the end.
With some help.
With help.
Tethers for me.
Yes, there were tethers. So he could go and take the tether for a shortcut back up to where he was and start over again. But this is not my idea of something I really want to keep doing. Although the motion is pretty fun. And that is what you do in this game. I mean, this activity. Given that all the endeavors have a different kind of activity that's different, and as I said, you get experience in it. That's interesting. You can see there's a line around here that you can only stay in this phase form if you stay within this area, and the minute you cross that line, like that, I get turned back into normal space. So that is an introduction to the endeavors and into my house on the night elf side. I'll be taking pictures of the night elf things. I'll look at that sky. Their sky is very pretty too. Oh, I wanted to go up in the air. You can see their clouds. There's sunset over the rocks. Oh yes, the watercolor clouds, the ocean. This, as I said, has a very different vibe from the Alliance area. And even though they both are islands, effectively, this one gets you the tropics. Here's somebody's house here. That's their style house. This one up here is a custom house. This is the Blood Elf house. This is the style of house that the next elf I do will be a Blood Elf house. There's their house. And they've built it into the sky. All of that is how you work it. Here we have a fairly ordinary work style house. Huh?
When you look at something, when you say this is something.
Yeah, I was trying to land, Corey. Yes, I was trying to land. So here we have a very orcish style house, as opposed to the Blood Elf style house. Here we get a nice view of the Blood Elf house. Look how well it goes with the color of the trees and the color of the sunset. Now, you know, you feel like this is all fits together, even if it is a floating house with a big marble wall out in front. So, again, this is the WoW housing. This is the WoW housing environment and the kind of things you can do in World of Warcraft that don't involve, you know, fighting, killing things. They're just nice, peaceful things that you could do in addition to all the fighting and the killing and the other stuff you could do in the game. And so, that is this session of WoW Now. I just wanted to, you know, show off the Night Elf home and the environment that we have here. So, /wave. Whoop. Oh, she got out an earth elemental instead. Blah. Alright, come on, let's try this again. /wave. Oh, I can't do it. That's a problem. I have no interface. It doesn't actually keep typing if I don't have an interface. Okay, so let's go here and hit enter. And she'll wave to you, and we'll say goodbye to Nefertiti and her Elf Elemental and the Horde area. She is dressed appropriately for the Tauren people. Alright, so that's that. The next time we play, we'll have an entirely different house to look at, a different style house. It depends on what I decide. We'll eventually get to Gnome Anne's house, but I have to move my house to get to a proper place for Gnome Anne, so I'm not doing it right away. And thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this interesting as we take a look at World of Warcraft and what it can be besides, what it sounds like. And we'll see you next time. So thank you, and bye-bye, and have fun.